Hello, everyone. Welcome back with another Blockopedia podcast. I'm Mohammed Ahmed Khan, co-founder of the Blockopedia. Today, we have joined by Dr. Prakash, co-founder of DeCharge Network. He's building a project on a decentralized EV charging infrastructure on Solana blockchain. DeCharge is exploring how blockchain, DePIN, and the RWA can work together and how it's expanded to the EV charging networks while allowing individuals and businesses to participate in building and how they can owning that particular infrastructure. So I would like to welcome Dr. Prakash and great to have you with us today.
Hey, Aman, nice to meet you and great to hear about Blockopedia as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining. And as usual, I would love to start with a question like just briefly share about your journey, how you first step into the crypto and the Web3.
Got it. Yeah, I think giving a quick TLDR, so this is, we started DeCharge around like 24 Q1. But way before that, I've been in the space since like 2020, post-pandemic, and when the DeFi summer happened, that's when I used to make the deep dive. Before I had a very mixed background, mixed tech background. I was actually a medical doctor till 2013. Then I wanted to be in tech, so I did medical engineering and all the basics of engineering from scratch. That's when I went to IIT Kharagpur and did my masters there. Then I joined the startup space in Bangalore. Uh, until around 2020, I was only like a passive investor, making the same mistakes of buying high, selling low of Ethereum and everything. But I think my builder journey started when all the lot of the early hackathons were happening, Polygon hackathons, and a lot of the ones that therefore I was actually hacking during my spare time. Naturally, I think the breakthrough moment for me was when I read. Everyone has the white paper moment. For me, it was mastering Bitcoin and mastering Ethereum. I think these open source books that is written by the foundation folks. I think that was a massive boost to me. I was able to understand in a very nuanced way of what is a nonce, what is a transaction hash, right? From learning by doing, right? I think you can read a lot of materials, but there's nothing comes to learning by doing. So playing with your own money, you have to have some budgets for playing money, and of course, bull market, everyone makes money. That's a different thing altogether. But I think the alpha lies in how deep you can go into the space or any domain for that matter. Right now, if you look at the AI space, has gone out to a very different vertical right now. Uh, Building is no longer a moat; it's like a very necessity right now. Anyone can uh, code any piece of tech right now. I think which is a great thing for the industry specifically. So that was my moment specifically. That's when I started deep diving into the Solana ecosystem, and it was just starting out. Early on, Solana India community, it was just like a Discord of 30 people in a Discord called Super Team, which is now it's like a very big community that is bootstrapped by a lot of people that run for the foundation, right? So I think I had a great opportunity to work with them. Then I got introduced by Solana Foundation folks to work with some of the founders. Then I joined a Web3 social company. It's called Chingari. I got to lead the uh, tech team there, mainly because they're looking for a lot of crypto native folks to lead the product development and also the go to markets and even fundraising for that matter. Even the markets were to the highs and lows of 21, 22, 23. Uh, I think what happened then was, of course, I was my motivation was to building something for the long term on a problem statement that will have a relevance even 5 years from now or even 10 years from now, right? So that's when I started looking at from a very product centric sentiment because tech is now it is much easier, but back then we didn't want to worry about tech as a moat. So I joined hands with my co-founder Mohan, who's also a serial entrepreneur and he has worked on multiple other exits in the past, which is like right from hardware to EV fleets as well. So we stumbled on the problem statement of okay, EV infra, how fragmented it is and how the industry has grown, right? And if you look at post-pandemic era, everyone is hooked onto 10 minutes delivery in all the metro cities, right? I think I think even it's catching up even in like countries like Dubai, Southeast Asia right now too. And most of the EV fleets are electrified, right? And they're not loyal to one particular brand of EV charging, right? They want some reliable charging for that they know it's going to be there at any point of time. That is brand, nothing to do with the brand or nothing to do with partnerships. They can't invest into a lot of other things. They have to invest only in their core operations of food deliveries, right? So that was when we started observing, and we sensed a pattern there. I think this could go even bigger. Right now, we have even like 10 different companies. Back then, there were just like Swiggy, Zomato, like two different companies, right? So we started very experimental at the start. We built a product ourselves, built our own hardware, custom firmwares, and everything, built the protocol from the ground up, and we scaled it to like 50 customers in a matter of 3 months because we have done this before. We had like a decade of mixed tech experience, and we brought it to like 50 customers even before start pitching to investors, right? I think that is something we were very keen on. You should not start fundraising with just a pitch deck. That era is gone. Even now that's the same. So back then we were very conscious of that. We were very conscious of how we would build. We want to have the product and customers too at the same time because distribution is everything. So we found a distribution that is the intermix of hardware, software, and real customers, right? Who are going to get yield from you, right? Because they want to make sure their e-fleets run on time. They don't have downtime. Even 1 hour of downtime can cause a lot of business loss to them. So that's how we started, and that's when we started hacking in the Colosseum hackathon, and we were the first Asian team to enter into. We won the startup competition there. It happens every 6 months. We got through the first cohort, and that's when the whole DePIN model resonated with a lot of audience. Even after we did the pre-seed accelerator round, we were still aggressively pursuing a lot of leads that we can do just in the Asian market alone, right? That gave us a lot of partnership, a lot of clues on how we could actually expand because a lot of hardware companies, they can only stick to one thing, either customer acquisition or your hardware distribution. So when we pitched the whole idea of decentralized, we looked at Helium, how it grew in the US. We thought of telecoms, like why don't we think charge point operators as telecom companies themselves and work with them? And rather than trying to own everything from full stack, we want to make sure we focus on aggregating the network as much as possible. So the hardware was subsidized. We floated them the whole fractionalized ownership, decentralized ownership model, and a lot of people knew instantly, okay, this is a concept that will probably really kick off. So even now, more than 50% of our devices are actually owned by the community. So that's how we've grown in the last 2 years. Right now, we started with those 50 customers. Now we scaled up a lot of charging sessions. We have like close to like 2,000 nodes across the world. Most of it is in Asia. And our core mode and understanding was to build product for customers and crypto vertical that actually makes sense. And I think if you look at the macro now, even now it's even making more sense. Like the gas prices are going up. People are looking for sustainable and cheaper options, which is why the EVs are the go-to for a lot of people, right? So I think there is a huge potential. We do have some exposure in the US and European market, but I would say the potential that and the size of market in Asia alone is like it's going to be like bonkers. So looking in retrospect, I think a lot of lessons that we have learned and success that we had owes to the core pursuit of problem statement. How do you make sure the business fundamentals are really strong before doing the token model? Because I think the first wave of different projects have already proved that once you launch a token, that you have sustainable tokenomics involved, then you can actually expand the network even faster. So we wanted to make sure that it was really resistant to a lot of nuances because it's not unlike the Helium hotspots or any other devices that you see. I think the capex involved in EV infra is much more, and the opex is even more. So you want to make sure that everything was like boiled down to a very tight knit model and also works. And we start aggregating the network ourselves. So all the charge point operators now come to us. We give them really good level pricing, reliable locations, and we also help a lot of EV companies enter the Indian market as well as they also help us expand in Southeast Asian markets as well. So that's the broad TLDR of how we work so far. And I think the biggest backers for us is a community. I think they understand the product really well. It's not easy because I think people are started looking for very real world products, very consumer facing applications. Making sure they are also a company that can make revenues, right? And that's how we are in a very good space right now. So that has led to the growth of our as a decentralized network in the last 2 years.
You already answered of so many of my questions. I would like to know. You mentioned like you have been a part of Polygon Hackathon, you have been a part of Ethereum hackathons, and you also take a part of Colosseum hackathons as well. Um, have you have seen like you're from the Bangalore, you are from the tech city, and you have meet so many developers on a daily basis. I have seen like the people also do the same, they participate in each and every hackathon. Maybe they have participated from Somnia, they have activation from different chains. So what happened is they try with each and every hackathon and with every chain to work on with them. What is your experience after participating in various hackathons? If a developer is watching, if a project is watching, like they are building on something and they want to choose, like I want to work on this particular blockchain or want to work for this particular blockchain, which hackathon should they have choose for their upcoming project?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think fortunately, what has happened in crypto space since the you look at the 21 bull run, if you look at the ecosystem between then and up, forget the prices, right? Look at the ecosystem back then and back now. It's like vast, at least like 10x different. You have really mature ecosystem across all chains. So change right now, the chains don't matter anymore from a very product perspective. I say this because products need chains need products and not the other way around. Before it used to be the case that chains need a lot of developers, and developers were getting a lot of opportunities from the chains themselves, right? And even if you look at Monad, the Nitro initiative that it is, that's like a fantastic one, right? They are creating an ecosystem where doesn't matter which chain you're on, come and pitch with us, do a startup competition, something like a Shark Tank, right? So I think the for as a developer, I think it's very important. You used to start hacking, right? No point in planning, learning, reading materials, watching YouTube videos. That is fine. I think right now, learning has with the advent of AI, you can do a lot of them very easily. I think what you should do is the moment you reach a point of participate, just participate. You don't need to wait until you win. Reach like 5 to 6 hackathon experiences, then you know how to build a product. Right? When you build a product, you can pick any problem statement that people have not solved, or there's a small niche that you think is like understand really well. Right? That's when you start assembling a team and everything. Right? So I think right now in today's day and age, you pick an ecosystem and you make sure that you are accessible to them. Right? It's very important to go and talk to people because it's at the end of the day, people see this is very very important. If you just stay in your room, hack in a room, nothing's going to happen. Of course, that's also important, but that's one form of growth. You will always get job as a developer. I think that it's not the case because if you know how well to use AI and also like contribute to the ecosystems, there's always a career for you. But if you want to go one step beyond, it's very important to meet people in person. When you meet people in person, they trust you more and they give you a lot of feedback. Feedback is the most important that you cannot always get while hacking as a solo person. So if you're a developer or a product person, I think it's very important to develop the knack of receiving feedback for your product. And that's only possible when you meet people in person, go to this IRL one. It's not, at least in during the time of pandemic, there was everyone is stuck at home. Right? That's like almost a different era. But right now, fortunately, we're not in the case anymore. So it's very important to participate in a lot of IRL events. I think a lot of the ecosystem right now are doing really well. If you look at Base, some of my good friends who work there, shout out to them. They're also like helping a lot of these developers come up really well and pitch their products and gain confidence, right? So and as you mature more and more, you're definitely going to either join a killer team as a talent or at least form your own product, right? I think this era will see a lot of people have to pivot themselves really well, especially in Web3 native experiences, right? I think the cost of starting a company has gone extending towards zero, which means anyone can build a very good product, get customers for it, right? So you can start focusing on other side of things. And if you are having a very good business idea, even better, right? You can you have the chance to do like 7 things in one, and you can do it as a 2% team. You can pull off something that a company with 25-member team is struggling to do, right? And the ability to move fast is very important. So I think when you take us, you just have to pick one. Give yourselves the moment you gain even like 2 months of confidence, go all in 6 months. If you're trying to search for a job in the traditional industry, you'll probably waste like 6 months it's probably not worth your time. But if you have a really good confidence in your own skills, network yourself really well, pitch to the right people, talk to everyone possible, I think there's a lot of scope for people to actually gain in this industry. I think it's never going to go down. I think that's very important. So, regardless of the ecosystem, pick one and take a strong bet. Get yourself likable to people. It's very important to people's skills matter more now, because the more effective pitch you're able to do, even if you're getting bad feedback, it's totally good, because that gives you insights, that gives you insights on how to build your product even better. And there's a lot of accelerators right now which help you to grow your product, get that external funding and even grant opportunities. There are enough people to help you move forward. So I think the next era of developers is like, I think it's very easy to do a lot of work in a matter of 6 months, which used to take at least 2 to 3 years before. And time is money, so I think that's the most important. After which, I think you can easily build a career, so you don't need to depend on anyone after that.
Yeah, I agree with you. And when we are going and meeting with someone is a really good asset, because you can build at home, but if you are not sharing with anyone else, maybe meeting someone, maybe you have to spoke somewhere else, you have to spoke, otherwise nothing is going to be happen. And I always feel, and I always tell my friends, COVID told us, okay, I'm giving you an opportunity, sit at home and build yourself and build something on somewhere else, work on yourself, and this is the golden opportunity for 1 year or maybe 2 years to build and work on something. After 2 years, just go outside and speak about yourself, what we have done in the last 2 years or maybe in this COVID area. So was the golden opportunity for everyone. And meeting someone and physically meeting with someone is a real asset, and that's how we call, our network is our network. um, you mentioned about the Colosseum, you mentioned about the Solana, and your project is focused more on the community side, and Solana is also focused more on the community side. But Solana is everything is about the community. If we are talking about the Solana, we can't miss talking about the community. Would you like to share something regarding the Colosseum, like your experience or something, because it's a dream for lots of the developers, dream for lots of the founders to work with the closely with the Colosseum team, and you get an opportunity to work with the Colosseum team. You participated in a hackathon and you got a chance to work with them. Would you like to share some insights working with the Colosseum, how they help you to build on Solana, how they help you to get access of the major communities, how to get help you to access some of the funds and introducing to the VCs, and this is how your experience working with the Colosseum.
Yeah, I think the most important, I think a compressed, so it's about finding the right set of forcing functions, right? I think Colosseum is like, a lot of people compare it to, like, is it like the YC for crypto? Of course, you have other programs like Allianz, and everything, right? I think what worked really well was Colosseum is really plugged into the Solana ecosystem, because they, as collectively, Solana ecosystem believes the next set of unicorn founders is going to come from Solana, which rightly so, right? You have a lot of companies also coming to build on Solana. They're making a lot of institutional partnerships. So the ground up way, there are very few ecosystems do as good as Solana, because it's not just Colosseum right now. They're all like ex-Solana employees. They I think now they raised their own funds and their venture fund, and they were able to do this as the Colosseum hackathon model, which is like really unique, because that is one way of forcing function to find the right talent. And I think once you cross that bar, uh, if you want to get really plugged into the ecosystem, there's nothing better than that. Now they also have like an IRL component. You could go to SF, get invited there. At 6 weeks, you work with other teams to make sure, and also have like great mentor sessions, right? We had some of the best mentor sessions. It ended up interacting directly with Raj Gopal, Anatoly, and I think it's very important to understand from people, because there are a lot of people you can market teaches you anyway. Building is no longer, you don't need a lot of help building if you know what you're doing. But I think there are a lot of mistakes that people have when you hear from other people what they made, that can kind of unlock a lot of mistakes that you can avoid, right? I think that those are looking back, I would say those are the most crucial ones. And setting up it's like a forcing function, nothing beats like an IRL build up, right? So the 6 to 8 weeks was really good. And fortunately, for at least for me, I've been around the Solana ecosystem for quite some time, so it was even better for me. Like I had much familiarity. I got to meet some of the newer builders, so this gave us enough time to also focus on the business side of things. So that talking to the initial investors and also talking to other people like who are very interested to how we are growing a business model, I think that was how it was really successful for us. And yeah, we were also one of the teams that went on to raise venture funding in a very short span of time after that, which last round was led by Lemnis Cap. So overall, I think it's very important to recognize like how to utilize every step that you get. That's how we have always looked at it, and I think the community ecosystem is almost like when you make yourself well known, it's also like marketing. Right? You have to show and tell, and there's no point in building in silo and building in a corner unless you can't talk about it, right? So we have to talk to people. I think the community ecosystem, they love seeing a very great product thrive in the ecosystem, and I think that's something that we have also received a lot of the last couple of years, right from the device holders all the way up to like people who they love talking about us, and they create like good content too. We also put a great price on content specifically because it's show and tell is always better, even if they don't understand. Otherwise, the people understand like why does your business need crypto? Like there's no need for it. But the reality is that right now crypto needs a lot of available projects coming to the ecosystem, right? I think that's what every right from central exchange to decentralized exchange, everyone wants that. And if you look at MetaDAO, a lot of fintech products are coming there. People are able to understand better. They're able to talk to the projects directly. And I think these are some biggest unlocks which nobody would have even dreamed like 4 or 5 years ago, right? So I think the unlocks are just getting better and better. And I think this is very good for the ecosystem. Looking at Solana, you're going to have a lot of other ecosystems who are looking to implement a similar model. You have plenty more opportunities. I think very bullish on the Nitro hackathon that Monad has built up. And I think if anyone's, of course, I have some good friends there. I was able to help them get into the space. So these are like very good models, and I think you should always keep it close here to which ecosystem is building well. They're putting the right set of guidance, and I think you should just be accelerate every quarter as much as possible.
Nice, nice, amazing. So I think we are running out of the time. So let's. What about the D charge? And if there is a person who doesn't know anything about the RWA, doesn't know anything about the DePIN, or maybe you can say it's a crypto. He maybe he's from the Web2 industry, or maybe a person who has crossed like retired from any civil service, or maybe a 45 years old, maybe 50 years old, and you have to explain what is DCharge and how they can use the DCharge, what is the benefits of the DCharge, and what is the future of the DCharge. So how will you explain to them like what is DCharge for them? Because this is a very basic question, and it is really essential for everyone to learn about what is the DCharge in a very simple, short, and the crisp form.
Yeah. Um, in a very short way, we are like the aggregator of all charge point operators, right? And the way we did this was very different at the start. We did everything ourselves so that we came across in the industry as a very respected player. Once we're done that, we are able to right now we're in a position place. Even if you have a very good profitable location where there's a lot of EV density in your location, people reach out to us and we make sure an EV infra gets set up in the location by all means possible, whether it's through our own infra, our own capital, or community capital, or even other charge point operators who are willing to fund the infra. I think we make this process really simple. So as long as you have a very good location, we can get sponsored for the location. We don't even need to have invest like 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs, right? I think these are the typical numbers you hear if you want to install a charging station. That is like a good one, right? Of course, the home charging station charges anywhere, cost anywhere between $500 to $1,000. And that is something we make it really happen at a very well planned way. So the host actually generates revenue, right? So previously, if you wanted to generate money as a charge point operator, you need to do a lot of investments, spend 10, 20 lakhs or 20K, right? But right now, that's not the case. As long as you have a very good location, there are a lot of EVs around you. Even if you have you want to service the location and make some money or extra money or income out of it, we make it very easy. So 2 years ago, this was not possible, and we implemented a model that is very different from the centralized models. This is not just for PsyOps, right? We actually implement in a very different way from existing competitors. And now we have a great mode that people come to us and they actually work with us. We also started aggregating other demands. So if you're a charge point operator, we don't compete with them. We actually have a decentralized model. We make sure that we connect them to other demand players like EV fleets and everyone so that they get pricing, guaranteed absorption of demand. So I think that's where we bridge the gap really well as a aggregating software. So if you are just curious in the industry, we can help you get set up. If you're a charge point operator, we can still help you get set up. If you want to, like, of course, the whole community incentives is also there, right? Right now, 40% of our devices are sponsored by people from US, right? They know the DePIN model even before the token is out. They know how the emissions work in the future, so they don't need to set it up themselves. Through the whole decentralized deployment model, we manage the deployment at a very lowest cost possible in areas that matter because we understand the business model really well. We know where to deploy as opposed to putting that burden onto the committee member, right? Of course, we have a few edge cases where committees were very interested to host. They want to get the devices. We do help them get that done too. But people have been preferring the delegated deployment model where even if you're sponsoring a device, you get future incentives, and it's like a two-sided marketplace, right? You buy a device and we deploy it for you, and you get like future revenues in the form of tokens, right? So I think that's how the model has been done, and tokenomics are modeled in such a way that it has a very well functioning utility, and it's also like very accessible for charge point operators to access to a network and very get discounted pricing and all of it. So we help whether you're a community member, if you're a charge point operator, or just a simple person who have very good location, we can help you generate business as a solopreneur. So that's what we do. And on an enterprise level, we have had very good partnerships around the world. I think we were able to focus on multiple geographies because we had like a decentralized model. Most companies, if you look at it, they focus are either limited by capital or limited by geography. But because we took a lot of risks exploring other markets, we are able to deploy across a lot of markets. And of course, most of our focus right now is in the Asian markets. I think still a great amount of growth that waiting to happen. Of course, even the whole macro situation right now, the EV sales are still starting to grow. So the infra is always it's never going to there is never enough EV charging stations. Even if you go on highway, you're likely to find an EV that has run out of charge, waiting to stuck in the middle of nowhere. If it's fuel, you can very much ask someone to fill up a bottle or something like that, right? But for EVs, it's not like that. You need to find nearest charging points. There is never enough charging point stations, and the charge point stations always receive like very good revenues as long as they're installed in the right location. I think location intelligence is something we have mastered really well, and we have the experience to make sure that is a profitable aspect for you, whichever way.
Got it, got it. And this is also an opportunity for individual, for businesses to earn something from your devices.
Yes.
Is it like the way you explain is quite amazing and very simple, starting with the technical things, then going for the very easy and essential for the business stuff. And yeah, like it can be an opportunity for individual. Maybe they can, if they have some spaces around their home or maybe any place on maybe somewhere else, they can opt a particular place for charging as a station, or maybe for an individual, for a solopreneur, like they can host the device in their apartments. Like if they have a multi-story building, they're like around 50 people and 60 people are living. So in the parking, they can host a device and all the 50, 60 people can use it, the charging on a daily basis. So it can also be the way to earn something from them. Am I right?
Yes, exactly. And
Yeah.
and it's previously it used to be the case that people were asking rent for installing charging again. Right now, it's charging is a necessity, right? Every RWA location, when I say like the apartments, they actually need charging as an amenity for as a public charging because most of the EVs that are being sold, they only sell the home charger, which is like only for individual use. There's not enough public charging infra there. I think that's the core problem we're solving, and there is huge demand for that right now compared to like what it was 5 years ago. And that's the exciting part of it, I think. And people don't even realize it's crypto behind the back end. There's a community, like that's the beauty of it. It's a two-sided marketplace. People don't need to understand, but people in the traditional the crypto ecosystem understand the business as well as how the whole value accrual happens to this token as well. I think these are the things that happened at a larger scale.
Yeah. Any future things would you like to share? Like any future development, any future update if coming into the recharge, would you like to share?
Yeah, I think we're doing a lot of geography campaigns. We'll be doing a lot of sales campaigns again in the next couple of months. A lot of engagement for the retail community now as well. I think it's going to be a great time. We're partnering with the broader ecosystem, Solana ecosystem as well, and they're all joining towards the promoting our campaigns. And I think a lot of exciting campaigns that are going to come, discounted chargers and all of it. I think this is the uh, is like a incentivized real world utility matters a lot. So gone are the days when you try to buy an NFT and expecting it to grow when it has no real value or no real business backing it behind it. Right here is not the case. Uh, every aspect that people every value that people put towards an ecosystem, they get like a very long-term value of it. So that's how we also do it, like, and all the existing device holders already receive network rewards even without the token that is outside there. So that has been happening really well, and people are mostly happy so far, and we're just looking to expand it even more in the next couple of months.
Nice, nice. EV is always a very interesting topic for me, and we have a foundation of time, so we have to sum up here. But yes, I would love to talk you more on the EV side, charging side, and how, like, I actually also want to use it, and how we can spread it into the market, and how we can do something together. So I will talk to you more. And I think this podcast is really helpful for those who love to EV, who have a EV and they want to have facing problem with the EV station, and they have some network. They want to build up something. They want to deploy some charging station that can be helpful. And also, this episode is also helpful for the developer side, who is building and very early stage developers, and they have surrounded by some hackathons or some other chains, so it will be also helping them to choose particular stuff. Your insights and your views can be helpful. So Prakash, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your journey and the insights, and it was a great learning more about DeCharge, about your vision and the decentralized EV. Everyone listening, make sure follow DeCharge and stay updated with the team, what exactly they are building. And thank you so much, Prakash, for tuning us for our podcast, and for all the communities and for the all the peoples who are watching and listening. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you in the next podcast.